everyone. How are you all doing? Happy Friday, Junior, you guys. Welcome to Create Her Fest. We are here today for our She's a Pitcher workshop with Melanie Monique, and we are so excited to have you here today. My name is Adrienne Guy, and I'll be your technical support for this session. I am the co founder of Create Her Fest. And I just want to let you guys know before we get started, I want to make sure that everyone is set up to have the best experience possible. So if you have any questions or run into any issues during the session, please feel free to reach out to me directly in the chat. So without further ado, let's keep this session interactive and fun. And I am so thrilled to introduce you to our amazing speaker for today, a good friend of mine, Melanie Monique, and she has such a treat for you all. All right, let's go.
Hello, everybody. Creator Fest crew. Let's get ready to do this. Jasmine is in the comment section already bringing the energy. Listen, I don't know if I could take too much more energy because I bring my own. Let me scroll through and see if you haven't already. Please drop in the chat where you are tuning in from. So, Jasmine joining from DC. Okay, acting up already. I love that. Oh, Darlise from Miami. I'm joining you from Chicago. And let's just give a little thanks. It's actually sunny today and not too cold. So as people come in, I'm going to encourage them to drop in the chat where they're tuning in from, just so I can get that global feel that I know is on the platform. Yes, son. Feel free, Darlise, to send some up from Miami. I'm here for it all. Today's workshop is She's a Pitcher. Let me tell you all something, and you'll learn more about why I'm so passionate about women, especially women in tech, learning how to pitch. Well, let me tell you right now, it's because life is a pitch. So out of the gate, I don't want you all to think about, oh, pitch, that's something I do when I need to share a specific business oriented idea, or that's something I need to do when I'm at university and standing before a class. No, just like Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage, I say life is a pitch. Have you all heard that other saying? It says life's a drop in the well, don't drop in the comments, but yeah, life's a pitch. Don't worry, I'm getting a trademark because it's life's a pitch and then you thrive. So if you're not out here showing up in everyday life, pitching who you are or what it is that you do or what it is that you're working on or even what it is that you desire, you are not harnessing the fullness of what you can have in this life. So, from the gate, from the top, we're going to be learning how to ABP. That's right, your life. We're going to be always be pitching. So, we're going to see it through and through this session. So, in this session, you're going to learn some mindset shifts. You're going to learn some frameworks for pitching yourself, but you're also going to learn a little bit about intention and emotion and how those two things will set you so far above the bar that when you begin to open your mouth to pitch who you are, what you do, what you want the desired outcomes to be for your life, you will be irresistible. All right. So let me tell you a little bit about me. Of course, my name is Melanie Monique. I'll give you the fun stuff first. I am a normal woman just like you. I just got into tech about 3 years ago. And quickly, how did I get into tech? I'll never forget, it was May. I was sitting on the edge of my bed in Chicago, had the windows up because it was a balmy day in Chicago. And I thought to myself, I'm a Black woman. I have watched my people, my family in particular, miss so many shifts. So, for instance, my husband's father, when cable TV came out, he had a chance to be an original investor. But he said to himself, who's going to pay for cable TV? And who paid for cable TV? The whole world. When the internet came, exactly, everyone. When the internet came out, everybody was like, oh my goodness, nobody's going to sign up for that. But look at where we are today. Even I remember we used to joke around in my family before bottled water was a real thing. And we used to joke around and say, oh, I bet you're going to let somebody sell you water. And look, who isn't buying bottled water or filtered water? So I was sitting on the edge of the bed and I thought to myself, I'm not going to miss out. AI was coming. Like we are in it now, but it was coming. And me being a non technical person, I felt it, I saw it, and I thought, not on my watch. Not on my watch. So I decided to get into tech. Did you all hear what I said? I decided to get into tech. It was a decision. And from that decision, I started pitching myself and the work that I do in voice into these different nooks and crannies and ecosystems. And that is how I am here today. But let me give you a little bit more background before that. Yes, that is why you are here. Vanessa, I love that. And don't begin to think, oh, I just think a little too wild, or I think outside the box. You are thinking exactly the way you need to think, in a way I wish more women would think. We decide, we desire. I can't even talk. We desire, we decide, and we do it. Write that down. You desire it, you make a decision, and then you do it. And that is how I arrived here. But let's roll back a little bit further. Why am I qualified to tell you about pitching? Okay, so let's go back just a little bit further. Has anyone heard of South by Southwest? Drop it in the chat if you have. If you've heard of South by Southwest, the festival that happens every year in Austin, Texas. Yes. Yes. Okay, great. Yes. So I was watching South by South roll out one year, and I am a pitch competition junkie. And you'll understand more when I roll back a little further. But I'm a pitch competition junkie. And one year I was watching their pitch competition. And this was right after I just finished watching the pitch competitions at the University of Chicago. And all I could think was, every time I see a pitch competition, I see the same framework happening, but by the fifth or sixth pitch, I am bored out of my mind. All of the pictures are starting to blur together, and even their ideas and the tech that they've come up with is all starting to blur all together. And the delivery of those pitches were so lackluster that I asked myself, who who is helping? Who is helping the teams with the pitch performance? So guess what I did? Guess what I did, Tanisha? Guess what I did, Latoya? I phoned South by Southwest Pitch. And I said, hello, I'm interested in being a pitch performance coach. The lady, very cut and dry, she said, we've selected all our coaches for this year. Try back in June. So you know what I did? I picked up my phone and I put on my calendar June and a notification for the next year. It was 8 months out. In June, I got that ping notification and I called back. Hello, this is Melanie. I spoke with you before. I'm interested in being a pitch performance coach. And she said, send me your LinkedIn. Okay. So I sent her my LinkedIn. Then I got an email basically saying, okay, we've seen your LinkedIn. We've heard what you want to do. Welcome to the team. What? No interview, no qualifications. Even back then, my LinkedIn was not popping. Okay. It was not giving. And so my mind was like, wait a minute, that was crazy. So year one, I came in and I was the first ever pitch performance coach. So along with all the other coaches, it was my job to look specifically at how the presenters were performing and to give laser feedback on that. Y'all, I had to prove myself. It was me. Can I be vulnerable for a moment? Drop yes in the chat. If I could just be vulnerable for a moment so you can see that I might be where some of you are or have been. That year, that first South by Southwest season of me being the pitch performance coach, I was the only minority, and I hate that word. Let me be even more clear. I was the only woman of color. I was the only person of color. I was younger than most people there. So the team was a lot of long-term tech bros and VCs that have been in the ecosystem for decades. And so when I tell you I had this ambition and I wanted to show that performance matters just as much as the structure of the deck matters. Performance matters in the pitch just as much as the metrics and the traction, because I had a knowing, even if I share the metrics and the traction, if I can't tell a good story and deliver it in a way that compels and persuades, then all my numbers and metrics fall to the floor. So after proving myself for that first year, at the end of the season, we had this debriefing call. The head coach said, Melanie, will you join us next year? And I'm thinking, sure. But he said, let's hop on a call. Sure. So we hopped on a call, and not only did he want me to join, he wanted me to build out the pitch performance program and lead it. And so I am happy to report I'm 6 seasons in, and now my team has grown to about 5 or 6 performance coaches, and we are hosting and supporting 72 teams from around the world because I had the audacity to pitch myself. And that is the same audacity that I want to equip you to have here on this call. Listen, we're going to put on our capes of audacity today because we deserve it. Yes, Jasmine. Yes, we are all going to put on our capes of audacity. So currently, I run a voice consultancy and I serve humans, people like yourself who are creators, technologists, dreamers, doers, ambitious women who are doing things in the world. I help you and equip you to have a voice that creates the outcomes that you desire. Pitch, presentations, and performances. I also work in tech, helping people who develop audible digital voices to craft ethically designed digital voices. All right, that's enough about me. Any questions or comments about who I am, what I do, what I'm offering before we launch into what you need to be a pitcher? All right. Yes, if you're enjoying, please join that Discord. All right. So, um, o- Ovia, Ovia, I hope I'm saying that right. Ovia. I'm glad that you're here to hear this as well, because oftentimes it's been my experience in the last, oh my goodness, next month will be 8 years of me running my voice consultancy. And over this time span, it's been my experience that people who are in deep tech and deep science, I'm talking like people who work at NASA, NVIDIA even, I work with a lot of these people in deep med. You're so busy working on the tech with your genius ideas and you're bringing real practical things to life that you don't think very much about how to communicate that or how to advance your ideas or even buy in or cohesiveness on teams through the power of the pitch. So I really am glad that you are here and I want you to tune in. And as we're going along, if you have anything, questions, you can drop in the chat. There may be times along this journey together that I might want to bring somebody to the platform to maybe practice one of the frameworks that I share with you today. All right, so let's get into it. I've talked a little bit already about mindset. And how did I talk about it? I shared with you the mindset and the fear and the imposter syndrome, even that I had when I first started out at South by Southwest. It's also been my experience working over these 8 years. And I'm sure you all have heard this. Men can have 20% of qualifications, and they are showing up in spaces from the boardroom to the beer hall, talking about how great they are, talking about all the things that they're working on, and encouraging people to join them on the journey. And they only have 20% of the qualifications, and they're not even that fantastic. Yet, us women, we have like 120%. Okay, let me be fair, 80 to 120% of the qualifications. And we, from the boardroom to wherever else we insert ourselves, we are very, very slow to even show up and speak the absolute truth about who we are, what we've done, and what we're working on. And I am here to interrupt that because we have to shift from thinking that we're bragging. We have to shift. Remember when we were young, a lot of us, if you're in my generation, oh my goodness, I don't want to date myself because in my head, I'm still 28. But I grew up in the generation where I was to be seen and not to be heard. Where if I said too much about what I was actually working on, I was considered bragging and prideful, right, Latoya? Now we are shifting a little bit in that more younger people are starting to say, no, I did that. No, I worked on that. No, I have a right to speak up and to say. But so, and this is globally, I work globally. So many women are afraid that if they show up and speak facts about things that they have already done or things that they're creating, that they are somehow stepping outside what it means to be a her. Come on, let's talk about it. We're going to be some pitch hers today. And I am here to tell you that we need to shift that. Follow me now. We're not bragging, we are serving. Somebody dropped that in the chat. We are not bragging, we are serving. By taking the time to show up and speak, to tell somebody what it is that we've created. We are serving them to let them know that there's a tool, a platform, a service, a product that meets their need. We are in service, okay? And you just said, I was literally just asked, why don't I brag on me? Guess what? We don't, if we want to brag, let's call it. I know some people have a brag book. I have a book of service, things that I'm creating, that I'm doing, that I'm sharing with the world. Why? Because they meet a need. They solve a problem. They, at the very least, encourage somebody else to know that they can too, right? I swear I build things and then don't talk about it or share it because I'm nervous. There are so many people, Darlise, that are waiting. You see me? Waiting for the genius that you have, waiting for the ease that what you are building would bring in their lives. Wait, chat, let's talk about Chat GPT for a moment. Is there anybody on this platform who has not used Chat GPT? I'll wait for a moment. If you haven't used Chat GPT, drop no in the chat. Okay, let me ask another question. In any way, did chat make any task or ideation process just a little bit easier for you? Yes. Yes. And look, I'm saying yes before I even see it dropped in the chat. Yes. What if the founder of ChatGPT said, I'm not going to tell anybody? I'm just going to quietly build this, and then it's just going to be on a corner somewhere. I'm not going to pitch to get the investment of these millions of dollars that it's going to take to build this. We wouldn't have the ease that we have now. So I'm telling you that you are not bragging or being boastful when you put your ideas out there. You are serving the world. You are serving the community. You are serving your best interest. And let me go here. If I am a woman of faith, not only are you serving, you are putting out in the world the download that divinity has given you by daring to open your mouth and share what you are creating. Come on. Come on. All right. So now that we know we're not just bragging and we're not out here just being braggadocious about what we want to do, and that we're actually standing 10 toes down and serving the world, that should just shift us a little bit. Okay. If Adrian and I hadn't decided to start CreateHER Fest and put it out there, that's right. This platform would not be here today. This workshop wouldn't be here today. And they wouldn't be allowing me to impact all of you. Do you see how putting it out there, pitching yourself, you literally become a platform for more innovation for other people to harness the power of goodness in this world. Hey, these memes, these emojis are giving me life. Yes, you become the platform. Come on. Have you ever thought about that? That was a download. I am a platform. Each and every one of you on this call today are a platform for somebody else's greatness, for somebody else's success, for somebody else's ease. Let's go. Okay? Yes. You are a platform. Now that we've talked about mindset a bit, let's shift a little bit. When we begin to pitch, before we have frameworks, before we have the words, before we even know how to deliver our pitch, I have found what is so important is we need to, and get ready to write this down, we need to set intentions. Yes, we need to set intentions. And this is going to become more clear as we go through, because how you show up with your family may have one intention versus how you show up at the grocery store, versus how you show up at the network mixer, versus how you show up in a boardroom, versus how you show up when you're trying to get investors to back that idea of yours. Okay? So you need to set an intention. I intend to make contacts. I intend to just show up and be an authority in the field. I intend to be joyful. I intend to communicate my idea with ease. Okay? Now, with your intention, and I'm taking you all high level, deep already. With every intention that you set, I want you to think about connecting an emotion to that. Let me explain. If your intention is to show up and just make more contacts, how do you want them to feel when they meet you? You're not going to get this anywhere else. This is straight download from the throne to me that I can use on my platform to deliver to you. When you set an intention, always allow an emotion to be connected with that. Let's say my intention is to share a new idea with you. How do I want you to feel after hearing my new idea? Because the intention is on this end and the emotion is on the other end, and the framework for delivering your pitch is in the middle. So the outcome, which is that emotion that they feel, is going to color or dictate how you pitch. Are we tracking? If you are following, drop it in the chat. Okay. These memes are cracking me up. That's right. So, my intention for you today is for you to leave this call empowered to use your voice to create outcomes that you desire. And the feeling I want you to have is audacity. I want you to feel audacious. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel liberated. So that is coloring how I am choosing to deliver this pitch even to you. All right. Feeling it. All right. Yes. Taking notes. Okay. So your intention is on one end, your emotion is on the other end, and in the middle is the framework for pitching. All right. So let's start out with a few hacks first before I give you a framework. So, that stuff in the middle, how you show up and how you pitch, let me tell you, it is less about what you say and more about how you say it. And I know some of you are triggered already. You're thinking about good old Auntie Maya. You all know Auntie Maya, Maya Angelou. Okay. Maya Angelou had a quote that's been circulating around the world. She said, "It's not what you do for people, it's not what you say to people, it is how you made people feel that they will remember." And that's very important because in a pitch, remember I told you, I would listen to all these pitches at universities and at South by Southwest and at all these accelerators and incubators. And by the fifth pitch, everybody's pitch started merging together. All the presenters became a monolith. Every now and then, there would be a presenter that made me feel something, whether that was outrage or curiosity. But they had to make me feel something to even remember what they were trying to offer me. So, when you are making a pitch, it's really about connecting to the heart of another person. And then the other thing is through your storytelling. So we have connection and storytelling. And in order to really connect and storytell in a compelling way, you have to, I'm going to just share with you 4 things out of 9 that I usually teach my clients. Okay. Get ready to write this down. When you show up to deliver your words, whatever those are, you have to be mindful of the pitch of your voice. Does that shock anybody that you have to be mindful of the pitch of your voice? Anybody? If that shocks you, drop that into the chat. I get cold feet when I'm not completely sure what that's normal. It's a lot of things I'm going to normalize on this call for you today. But I am the coach that tells you what other people think and know in their bodies, in their brains, but because of political correctness or whatever other cultural yeses or nos or norms are out there, they don't dare say. Your pitch, meaning actually the register of your voice. For instance, for me, my voice is lower pitch for most women. But some people have a really high pitched voice and other people have a really, really low pitched voice. So it means where does your voice sit on a register of notes? So like from do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. I can't even hit that next do. Don't make me do it. Your pitch matters. And let me tell you why. Your pitch, Darlene, your voice is low for a woman. Yay. Low pitch women unite. But let me tell you why it matters. Research shows that men and women see lower pitched voices as more authoritative. What? Yes. Alto unite. Anybody with a high pitched voice, you have to learn how to hang out on the lower end of your pitch register and do some other things just to be seen as authoritative. And anything that's worth pitching is worth being seen as authoritative. Okay. So, one thing, oh, yes, Zari, I'm there with you. One thing that you can do to begin to practice or even learn where your pitch is do the musical scale. Speaking is not that much different than singing. But we look at singers and go, oh, they have such a beautiful range. They sing with such emotion. It really makes me feel. That is the exact same thing that our speaking voices should be doing, could be doing. Okay. And so, what I want you to do is just think do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Are you more of a top do just naturally? For me, you could probably hear me reaching for that do. I'm more of a do, the first do. Okay. And so, wherever your voice feels most comfortable, that's your normal range. But then you can practice going down, 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 and just see how low you can go before you tap out of breath. That is the lowest end of your register. Just like when you start stressing at the high parts, that is the upper end of your register. So you want to hang middle to the lower parts of your register to be seen as authoritative. Okay? Got it? Yeah. Okay. The next thing you want to consider is the pace in which you speak. Write that down. Are we all now trying to sing? Don't rate me? Right, exactly. You should be. I hope you're in a safe place to do it. All right. So we have your pitch. And then the next thing you want to think about is your pacing of your speech. I was just at a major conference in Las Vegas called Funnel Hacking Live. And the founder of the whole organization, who is a multi-millionaire, who has a platform, who has helped other people become millionaires, dare I say billionaires, when he presented and pitched, he was going so fast that I missed 70% of what he was saying. Not only did I miss 70% of what he was saying, I was frustrated because I couldn't connect the dots. I was so frustrated that I looked around like, is it just me? I listen to people for a living. It cannot be just me. And do you know, I started inquiring and people said, yeah, I missed it too, but I'm just going to catch the replay. I missed it too, but you'll get used to it. I missed it too, but everybody says that his content is so worthy. Well, what about the people who are not at that place where other people just know our content is so worthy? We have to be mindful of our pace. If we speak too fast and we're sharing an idea, people are not going to be able to connect the dots. But nobody wants to be seen as not knowing or an idiot. So people will listen to you and go, yeah, no, I understand, but they get nothing. Or when you speak too fast, people they'll feel it in their bodies and in their limbic systems, like you're trying to get over on them, like you're slick, like you're trying to pull the wool over their eyes. And everything in them will be saying, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't trust this technology. I don't trust this platform. I don't trust that they can do what they say they can do. And so when you speak too fast, it puts you at a disadvantage. Are you all tracking? Okay. TikTok speed, getting information across within seconds. It's stressful. It's stressful. Yes, we can listen fast, but do we connect all the dots in a way that will cause us to take action? And that's what ultimately a pitch should do, cause us to take action. Okay. The other end of the spectrum of speaking too slowly, it causes that same type of stress where, once again, we're not connecting the dots. It stresses me out when people are trying to share an idea and I have to literally hang on every word. And then also, the temptation is to think they don't know what they're talking about, really. They are not the brightest, right? It's agony. I go into autocomplete mode. Exactly. It's too stressful. So, where you want to be is at a nice, moderate pace. And you will know, especially if you can see your listeners, you can look at somebody's face and tell when they're tracking because you will get clues from them. Usually, some head nods, some attention, or those verbals that, you will be tracking. But usually, if it's too fast or too slow, there's silence. There's the death stare. There's the glaze out. Okay. And just for those nerds in the room like myself, 125 words per minute to 137 words at the high end is the sweet spot for how many words you can deliver in a minute without it being too fast or too slow. So we have your pitch, we have your pace. Now let's talk about pronunciation for a moment. I love it that we have a global audience. Write it down, write it down. We have this global audience. I do not believe in accent elimination or accent reduction. And when I say accent, I'm talking about accents from other languages aside from English. And I'm also talking about regional accents. So here in the United States, where I'm based, whether you're from the South, from New York, from LA, from the Midwest, I do not believe in accent reduction. However, I do believe in accent clarity. And accent clarity, all it means is that you're sharing your words in a clear enough manner that whoever is listening can understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. Okay? So let me break that down though. Did you all know that Native American ears and hearers hear slower than most of the rest of the world speaks? If you knew that, drop yes in the chat. I'm not seeing any. Okay, I did not. Nope, nope. Okay, so that is why if we're native English hearers, when you hear a Spanish speaker or a Mandarin speaker or even someone from India and their different dialects, when you hear them speaking even in English, it sounds like they're going so fast, but they're not. They're speaking at the normal cadence of their language. Somebody said, Darlie said, Spanish speakers hearing at 10 times the speed. They are. They feel like native English speakers are speaking so slow because they're accustomed through just the native tongue and the neural networks that were formed when they learned their native language. It's faster. But if you're speaking on an American platform where the majority of the listeners have these American ears, here are some hacks. Slow down just a bit and articulate your words from the beginning of the word until the end of the word. And that will solve 80 to 90% of your clarity issues. So what Darlene is saying, for me, my pace and tone differ depending on what language I'm speaking in. Exactly. Linguistic facts warming your heart, Jasmine. I'm a linguistic nerd, specifically a sociolinguistics nerd. Yes. So depending on the tone, I'm sorry, depending on the language, your pace will shift, your tone will shift everything. And it's not you being fake or phony or inauthentic. It's you using the power of your vocal repertoire to create the outcomes that you need to create when you're speaking in that language or to people who hear in that language. Yeah. Oh, come on, Jasmine. Yes. All right. Now, so we have our pitch, we have our pace. What did I just give you? Pronunciation. Just say the whole words. And in different places, different words are pronounced a little differently. But typically, if you pronounce it from the beginning to the end, we all have the same understanding. Oh, another hack for those of you who native tongues or you happen to speak Spanish, Mandarin, Korean, uh, not Japanese so much. If you're Ghanaian, Nigerian, Kenyan, drop your jaw. Like over articulate in your mouth. Move your teeth and tongue a little bit more. It will feel strange at first. Anything new feels weird and strange, but it's so worthy to practice. But if you just drop your jaw and over articulate, it will force you to slow down. It will force a pace in which you are being understood. Easy peasy. All right. Now, the last P that I want to give you, we have pitch, pace, pronunciation, and this might be as important or almost like a container for the rest. And that is you must have passion. Ah, do you hear me? You must have passion, pathos, emotion. If you speak of your ideas or even who you are in a demeaning, lackluster, whatever type of way, your listener is going to hear it the same way. I tell my clients all the time, if you tell me something and you sound like you don't care, neither do I. And neither do I. So whenever we open our mouth, none of that negative self-talk. And if I thank you for that comment, because when we speak, oh my goodness, I'm trying not to go too deep into the physiology of it. But unless we are really great actors, and even then, when we speak, we sound how we think. So even if you're saying, I'm having a great day, no, I can hear that you're not. If you say, I'm having a great day, some people with very discerning ears can hear she put a lot of extra on that, but I can hear she's still not having a great day. And I have that gift. I used to think everybody heard the same way that I hear, but no, everybody's not hearing the same. So, how you think about your project, your product, what you're doing, who you are, it comes through in the way that you show up when you pitch. So that is why very often you can see somebody pitching and they're like, hi, my name is Melanie. I run a voice consultancy and I want you all to join my voice accelerator. No, right? So passion about who you are and what it is that you do, the platform that you're becoming, and the project that you want to share with the world or the product. You have to stand 10 toes down and share that with passion. Now, passion looks different for different people. Okay, let's talk about this. Some of you on this call may identify, you've self identified, or someone has told you that you are an extrovert. And so you have given yourself permission to be loud and fiery and passionate and just all over the place when you show up in spaces, when you introduce yourself, and when you talk about what you're creating, right? Guess what I identify as? Drop it in the chat. And then some of you have self identified, or someone has told you, oh, you are an introvert. And because you were told you were an introvert, you think that that means that when you show up, you always have to be quiet or very even keeled and things like that. Well, I'm here to disrupt all of that, cancel all of that. The truth is that you have a vocal repertoire that goes from very quiet and still to very loud and fiery. You have a vocal repertoire that goes from slow and even paced to quick and fast. You have the kind of vocal repertoire that singers, remember we talked about singers? They have. Um, the singer that's two singers, well, a couple singers now are jumping in my head. I'm thinking of Adele. Oh, she has that ability in that lower pitch register and that soulful register to make us feel certain things. Beyonce, hey, she can make us feel that mid-range kind of level excitement. Hey. And then I'm also thinking about, are you all familiar with Anita Baker? Another very real deep register, slow, soulful. Can you imagine Anita Baker trying to sing songs that Beyonce sings? Uh, it would be like, mismatch. But I'm here to tell you that you have the capacity to show up the way that you want to create the outcomes you desire based on the ecosystem that you're inserting your voice, yourself, and your pitch into. So we're going to take off those shackles of, oh, I'm just an introvert, or, oh, I'm an extrovert. Because guess what? Extroverts sometimes need to tone it down for the environment that they're trying to pitch in if they want the outcomes they desire. I'll never forget the first client I had that was an actress. I had to literally coach her to become more unrefined in her voice. And boy, was that a challenge. All right. So, your pitch, your pace, your pronunciation, and your passion, these things are going to anchor how you deliver your pitch. And before I give you we're going to finish up with the frameworks. Before I launch into the frameworks, does anybody have a question or a comment? If you do, you can either raise your hand or you can drop it in the chat. Let me take a sip. Okay, are we still here? Are you ready for these frameworks? Will there be a recording of this or a
We have a quick
transcript?
question.
I'm sorry, we have a question?
We do. So
Okay.
Deepa asked, my friends tell me that I give too much of details. I think she's meaning she gives too much details. What should she do? That's her question.
Okay. I love to talk always about both coins, both sides of a coin. If your friends are telling you you give too many details, it could be true, or it could be that they don't have the capacity to follow you on your storytelling journey. Okay. So let me broaden this. It is very important to know the art of being concise, to know how to say what you need to say in 10 words, 100 words, and 1,000 words, in 30 seconds, 3 minutes, and 30 minutes. So I would challenge you to take one of your favorite stories or a story that you know you have told your friends before and work it until it is so concise, meaning every sentence counts, every word counts, but you can infuse the same meaning into those few sentences as you can into that long story you told them. All right. And so that might mean taking out some of the extra details or taking 10 details and distilling it down into one statement that feels as impactful as those 10 details. I've held workshops to do just that with companies. A 4-hour workshop just distilling down, what am I doing? What's my brand messaging? What are all the things I'm trying to say? And distill it down into a statement. So I want to challenge any of you on the call that's been told you're too wordy or you give too many details. First, ask yourself, am I sure that they just don't have the capacity? Are they impatient? Or am I hearing this enough in different environments where I really need to practice the art of the 30-second, the 3-minute, and the 30-minute conversation or pitch? Does that help? If that helps, drop yes in the chat. All right. Any other question? Oh, question. When we pitch, do we focus more on elucidating the problem? Wait, my chat moved. Elucidating the problem or the solution more, which makes the audience give in to our pitch, knowing the problem being addressed or knowing about the fancy solution at hand. In a nutshell, and you're going to see it more as we get into the framework, if you don't make the problem palpable, meaning they got to feel the problem. If you don't make it palpable, we don't care about your solution. But that doesn't mean you spend all day talking about the problem and then just blurb your solution. What that means is your storytelling and the emotion and the why you has to line all up so that by the time people hear your problem, they are locked in. Your solution, they are locked in. So let's say, question, Uvia, I know I'm butchering that. Would you be willing to come on the platform and speak? If you would be willing, we can workshop it right now. Drop yes into the chat. If not, no problem. Uvia, I know I'm butchering that name, but if you're willing to come on platform, we can workshop something really quickly. And when anybody that comes to the platform, your vulnerability and courage to come to the platform, believe me, it is setting everybody else free. Yay!
Hi all. Hi,
Hi,
Monique.
hi. Thank you so much for joining me on the platform.
Yes,
Okay,
sure.
let me ask you, what are you often pitching? Or tell me.
Mm, Mostly, I'm pitching something related to public goods.
Okay. So something related to public goods. So when you are pitching something related to public goods, what's the problem that you're trying to solve?
For example, let's take a disaster management system or something like that.
Okay. So let's say, but what that's the solution is a disaster management system. Is that the solution?
The problem will come along the lines of having to do what happens during a disaster and how we manage, how the management of funds are being disallocated. So,
Okay.
something.
So what usually happens during a disaster and how the funds are allocated.
Yeah.
Really quickly, pitch me. Tell me the problem. I'm listening to you. I'm an investor. Tell me the problem.
Okay, so when a disaster happens, the government actually have to take a lot of serious calls in order to allocate the funds right at the moment. But when it is allocated as relief funds immediately, it is not reaching the people immediately. So that's the problem we are focusing. When we
Okay,
say, yeah.
stop. So I heard the problem and I actually understood the problem. But guess what? It wasn't delivered in a way that makes me really care that
Yeah.
much. Right. So, this is where storytelling comes in to make me feel the problem. What if you said, and I'm making this up off the top of my head, so grace.
That's
Last month, the LA fires were raging. People were away from home, looking at television, seeing fires burning. They're trying to call home, cannot get into touch with people. Now they're calling the emergency hotlines. There's so many people calling. Resources are being used up, and still it wasn't the most productive way. That's why we have created whatever the solution is. I'm going to ask you all, and in the chat, did it make a difference that I said, I'm telling a story now about what the problem is? There's a crisis. All the phone calls coming in, they're not all being answered. We still don't know. Resources are being used up. And now I'm going to introduce a solution. Are you more ready to hear the solution now versus just me telling you when a crisis happens, money's not being spent well?
Yes, that makes a whole lot of difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pronounce your name for me.
It's Ovia. You have been pronouncing it rightly.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ovia. Okay, I love that. Ovia, thank you so much. So when we are trying to share our problem, we have to articulate it in a way that pulls on emotion. So our intention is for them to invest in our platform or our product that solves that solution. But remember, we want them to feel what? Do you want the people to feel outraged? Do you want them to feel panicked? Do you want them to feel uh, that it's just been such a waste of resources? And however you want them to feel, that's how you calibrate your storytelling, the very words that you use and how you deliver them. So even Ovia, some pitches, people, it let me say this. It requires a level of vulnerability to make a really good pitch. Now, I'm not telling you to go out here and trauma dump on the audience, to be like, oh my goodness, why me? My house got burned down. I lost everything. I'm a victim. So you should buy my product. Like, no. But it requires a level of vulnerability for you to even tap into your emotional um, insides, to let them come out through the way that you are going to use your words and your tone and your pitch and your passion to make the audience feel something. So even if you said, listen, there's a problem. Whenever a crisis happens, a natural disaster happens, so many funds are being misused and misappropriated versus whenever a crisis happens, the funds are being misused and misappropriated. Okay, but how do you feel about that? So whenever you are sharing a pitch, you have to bring emotion in and deliver it to the people so that they can be tracking with you emotionally. Great question. Let's get into these frameworks. So I'm going to give you a personal framework and a professional framework. If you're introducing yourself, and I like to call this the powerful if, and if just stands for an introduction framework. All right. Excuse me. Whenever you need to introduce yourself and you need to write this down, you want to say who you are, what you do, why, and because. Because why? Because of what? Or because, and this will become more clear. So you want to say who you are, what you do, a little bit about why you do it or why you anchored here, landed here, because of what? Okay. Does everybody have that? The framework is who, what you do, why, and because of what. So let me give you an example. Hi, I'm Melanie Monique, and I run a voice consultancy why? I run a voice consultancy. I saw so many women who were misaligned between who they felt like they were on the inside and how they showed up in the world, because the world is not letting us know that our voice can create outcomes for us. So that was a really rough framework. I mean, me just making it up. So what I want us to do right now is workshop this. I'm going to give you 3 minutes right now. Take out your pen, your paper, your tablet, and do your who, what you do, why, and then you can have a because in there. And because can be a little tricky. It can because you saw never, because you didn't see other people doing it, because you wanted to serve at this level, because you were tired of doing this, because people are lying to you about this. Your because can be whatever that really sets you apart as an individual, as the who of you. Because most people aren't thinking about voice, and I do. All right. So take 3 minutes and workshop it. And we're going to ask people to come to the platform and begin to share their pitch of who they are. Oh, I didn't hit. Okay. And it may not take 3 minutes. When you have it all together, just put ready in the chat. All right. All right. Darlene was the first one to say, okay, I think I'm ready. And so I want to acknowledge that some of you may have struggled with that. If you've never thought about, okay, how can I succinctly say, who am I? What do I do? Why do I do it? Because of what? Right? And actually writing down the words, it can be a little scary. And I'm going to even go as far to say, some of you probably minimize yourself like, oh, I'm not that important. Or you saw who you are and what you did, and you went, oh, I'm that woman. I'm her. I am her. I'm her. All right. And so I see Darlene is ready. Nicole is ready. Nicole, would you be willing to come to the platform and share with us what your personal introduction is? All right. Let's bring Nicole to the platform. Hello, hello, Nicole. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks.
Good. Oh, I just love voices. Your voice is like so buttery and so smooth and calming. Yes.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
Yes.
that. Yours is amazing too. So,
Well, thank you. Okay, Nicole, what I'm going to ask you to do
mhm.
is just with the introduction that you wrote down, introduce yourself to me.
Okay, I am a seasoned startup strategist, an executive coach, and an operational leader. I have a deep passion for helping founders turn bold ideas into scalable businesses. I'm launching a platform to create opportunities and access for as many people as possible to start their own businesses confidently. As a passionate builder and founder myself, I struggled with too much information, distractions, and noise about what to do, how, and for me to stay focused on what I needed to do for my business to be successful. I'm doing this because I believe owning your career is the ultimate freedom.
Wow, 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 wow. Let's cheer Nicole on. Let's cheer Nicole on. You were able to crank out a lot. Did you have some of that already prepared?
No, I just
Oh,
did.
good. You were able to crank out so much. Okay,
Mm,
but remember, I'm that coach that's going to say all the things that people don't normally say. Okay. Now,
mhm,
if we were just meeting and you were introducing yourself to me and you kept talking and kept talking and kept talking, I'm thinking, like, are we on stage? Is this a pitch? Yes, it is, but it felt, I had no, it was too much for me to digest. Okay.
mhm.
And I still don't know your name. You never gave me my name. So we're going to do this over on the spot. And you're being so courageous. Thank you. We're going to do this again. Hi, I'm Melanie Monique. I'm here. I help ambitious women release their voice in the world because it's just not enough women showing up, using their voices to create the outcomes they desire. Tell me more about you.
Yes, I'm Nicole. I'm a seasoned startup strategist. I work with founders as an executive coach, as an operational leader, and I help them turn their ideas into scalable businesses.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Okay, now I that was enough for me to digest. But let me tell
Mhm,
you something. Ooh. And drop in the chat if you all heard it. You came out, you came off of my energy and you were like, "Hi, I'm Nicole." It was like bang up, great energy. And then as soon as you shifted into talking about what you did, your
mhm.
vocal energy downshifted and you started to sound uncertain. Did anybody else hear that? Drop in the chat. Did anybody else hear that? Somebody, yes, yes, yeah, wow, yeah, I did. So it's not just me. And so I'm not going to put you on the spot right here, but if you were one of my individual clients or in my voice
Mhm,
accelerator, we would peel back all of those layers because you're doing the work. But it sounds like there's something about you just vocalizing who you are and what it is that you're doing that maybe you're not comfortable with showing up as such.
Yeah, it's scary. I don't like to sound overconfident. And so yeah,
Were
that's
you on the
I,
call in the beginning where we talked about the difference between
mhm,
bragging and
mhm,
serving? Honey, you are not bragging. Guess what? You, Nicole, showing up and speaking confidently about what you do, you're going to be the answer to what I need. But if
mhm.
I don't believe you, I'm like, okay, Nicole said she was a strategist, but what is she strategizing? Like, I don't believe her. So I need your confidence. I
Mhm.
need you to stand 10 toes down and tell me who it is that you are, because you could be the answer to my prayer.
Yeah.
Don't be selfish, Nicole. So let's try it one more time. And I guarantee you're going to sound different this time because you are the answer to what I need. You're not bragging, you're just providing a service. You're a servant.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm going to introduce. Hi, it's so great to see you here. Let me just tell you, I'm Melanie. I am a voice and presentation coach, and I help women that are ambitious like yourself to release their voices into the world so that you can create the outcomes you desire. Tell me about you.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm Nicole. I am a seasoned startup strategist. Work as an executive coach and an operational leader. I work with founders to help turn their bold ideas into scalable businesses.
Okay. And guess what it was giving to me that time? It was giving sort of like, this is what I do. This is what I've been doing. Like, get into it. That was so much better. How do you feel right now?
Woo! I feel tense, but that's okay.
That's okay. We're going to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And because you had the audacity to come on the platform, can I have permission to give you some laser pointed hacks that you can do with your presentation style?
1000%. Yeah.
Okay. When you get ready to pitch yourself the way that you just did, I want pauses are going to be your best friend. Because hear me out. Right now, you have a lot of flow. Women tend to flow when we speak. We sound like a piano and we just go from one statement to the next without a lot of flow in between. But when we want to sound more authoritative or even give people a chance to digest what we're saying, we need to implement micro pauses. So I'm a business strategist and I do this. And I work with women to do this. So adding those micro pauses will allow you to sound more authoritative and to give the listener a chance to digest. I think when I experienced this in the avoidance of overpromising or not wanting to misrepresent powerful. Oh, that is such a powerful psychological nugget. So oftentimes when we get ready to talk about who we are, it's like, well, I don't want to like seem so big and such a mucha that when they work with me, I don't deliver to their expectation. Right? So first of all, whenever we pitch, ladies, I'm almost sure I don't have to say this to this group, but just make sure you can back it up. Like whatever you're saying that you can do or that you do, don't be making stuff up. Like actually do those things. Be her. But then when you actually speak of yourself, remember you're a servant. You're the answer. Speak of it in a way that you know you can deliver on. And that is with confidence and authority. All right. Thank you so much, Nicole. Do you have a question for me before you leave the platform?
Not that I can think of. So no.
Okay. So add the pauses, speak confidently. And for you, confidence means slowing down, speaking more like a drum than a piano, adding the pauses and that passion. Not questioning, but authority. All right.
That's great advice. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That was amazing, Nicole. Good job. We have time for maybe one more person that wants to come to the platform. If you want to come to the platform, drop me in the comments. Great job. You read the comments, Nicole. You're getting so much amazing feedback. Okay. Jasmine said, working on it. Who? Darlise, are you ready to come to the platform? Because you were ready. Okay.
I knew you were going to call on me.
I love that you knew that and that you were ready.
I was ready.
Darlise, I don't know your name. Like in this mock scenario, I don't know who you are. Let me give you a scenario.
Okay.
We are at a tech conference and we're at a tech conference. We're in Washington, D.C. This tech conference is a lot of government officials, and you are there to just spread the news about who you are and what you're working on. I want you to introduce yourself based on your framework. All right.
Okay. My name is Darlise Calix, and I'm the co-founder, organizer, and curator of CreateHER Fest, which is a technical series democratizing access to emerging technology for women through technical workshops, mentorship, and hackathons.
Okay.
Okay.
Love that. I love the content of what you have there. But guess what? Why is it that when we say, oh, we're going to introduce ourselves or we're going to do a pitch, that we get all presentational?
Like, I don't know.
Why? It is so common across the board. Listen to me, everybody on this call. The superpower is in remaining conversational. Remaining conversational. So on no day do we ever go up to someone and say, Hi, my name is Darlise. We're like, hey, I'm Darlise.
You're right.
Okay, so I want you to run that back through the lens of being conversational, almost like you ran into your high school friend at a reunion and you're just catching her up on what you're doing, but use your framework.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. I'm catching up with somebody. Cool.
Yes.
Well, if it's not, then I'm not introducing myself, but hey, so good to catch up. I don't know if you know this, but I recently co-founded an organization called CreateHER. It's a technical event series democratizing access to emerging technologies. So think maybe like AI, ML, blockchain, augmented reality for women through technical workshops, mentorship, and hackathons. I
Okay.
use my hands
Okay.
a lot when I talk.
What makes you think you shouldn't?
I don't know.
We should. We should be
Yeah.
using our hands when we speak. We should be using our facial expressions. I'm noticing, like within the last 4 years, something I'm calling Botox syndrome, where a lot of people
Mm,
are talking and they think they're supposed to be like so still in their face. It makes people nervous. If we're not moving our eyebrows and talking with our hands and tilting our heads and things like that, the listener doesn't know exactly what to make of what you're saying. We feel it in our limbic systems. So just don't be doing this, but
no.
talk with your hands, talk with your body, talk with your face. That makes you so human and it draws people in. They want to feel your energy. Okay. Now give me permission, Darlise, to give you
Okay.
some laser. Yes, your voice is at the lower pitch, which is excellent for authority, but you also are what I call an expressive monotone. Okay. An
Mm,
expressive monotone is a person who has like a narrow range and they're like, no, really, I'm excited. And I'm like, are you excited or are you excited? Okay.
okay, fair.
So,
Uh-huh.
so what I want you to practice, and you may not be the only one on here. So what I want you to practice is talking up the ladder and going down the ladder in your sentences. So, hi, I'm Darlise. I work with CreateHER Fest. It's going to feel so weird at first, but
Mhm.
then you're going to find your sweet spot of knowing when you should be going up and when you should be going down. But to bring in some of that vocal variation instead of sounding all kind of like right here. Okay. I work with creatives.
Mm,
Okay. So we need to expand the color in your expressiveness. So you won't always sound like you're talking about, like, you know what it is. You know what
you
I'm
know
saying?
that's
Do
how I
people?
talk to the homies.
Yes, yes, yes. So thank you for sharing that, Darlene.
Thank you.
Okay. I see Deepa. Deepa, you want to give your introduction?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Yeah. I'm Deepa, a technology enthusiast with 8 years of IT experience, a strong believer of problem solving over carrying it forever. I'm here to propose a platform where women are heard and helped by other members about balancing the work life challenges in everyday life, which has grown into bigger pain over the years but unheard and need a way to resolve and empower the women promoting our health and wellness.
Okay, Deepa. Okay.
I rushed too much. I think I needed to slow down a bit.
Okay, so amazing. Do you see the awareness that's being developed already? So, Deepa, slow down just a little bit. Pauses are going to be your friend as well. But there's another thing. You gave us like way too much. If you were just introducing who you are and what it is that you do, you went way deep. So, we're going to practice the art of being concise. So, I want you to try again to say, hey, I'm Deepa, and give me one concise statement about what it is that you do.
Okay. Um, I'm Deepa, a enthusiast with 8 years of IT experience, a strong believer of problem solving over carrying it forever.
Okay, let's
I'm
pause.
here.
Pause.
Yes.
So
Okay.
you're a technologist with over years of experience. What kind of technologist?
I mostly work on cloud-based technologies.
Okay, so hey, if you were meeting me, it would be more like, hey, I'm Deepa. I'm a cloud. I've been a cloud technologist for 8 years, got a lot of experience. I love working with this. And then you pause.
Mm.
And then you allow the person that you're introducing yourself to receive all of that and either share who they are or say, huh, tell me more about that. And then when the person says, tell me more about that, then you can give them more. So, everybody on the call, when you are meeting somebody and sharing your personal introduction, this is not the time to give them your bio. This is the time to give them a glimpse into who you are. So, Deepa, you're going to try it one more time. And what you're going to add this time is you're not presenting to me. You're meeting me at the networking mixer. And you're going to just kind of like, hey, and introduce yourself to me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Try it one more time.
All right. Hey, I'm Deepa. A cloud technology enthusiast, has been working in IT for about 8 years, and I'm here to pitch a platform for women, for the women empowerment, bringing her work-life balance, which has been a problem over the years and which really need to be addressed at this very point. Let us
Pause,
bring it to the
pause,
platform.
pause, pause.
All right.
Work-life balance that really needs to be addressed at this very point. Saying those things, all of that, it can be done. Deepa, give me permission to tell you what's that going to be, that one thing that brings you into very much an authoritative voice when you pitch. Permission? Okay. You have what is classically called uptick. And so that means at the end of most of your sentences, it sounds like you're asking a question. Hi, I'm Deepa. I'm a cloud technologist. I have 8 years. So what you need to do is go down. Hello, I'm Deepa. I'm a cloud technologist. I have 8 years of experience in cloud-based this. Women need work-life balance, not work-life balance, work-life balance. Okay, so practice coming down. I like to think of it in my head. Have you all ever watched the Olympics and there's a gymnast and they run and they do all those flips and they land? You got to land it. Okay, so at the end of your phrases, think about landing them and letting, instead of letting them fly. Oh my goodness. This was so good. And if you do that, you're going to be well on your way to being impactful when you introduce yourself. Oh my goodness. It is
Thank you so
129.
much.
It
Yeah,
is,
I thank you so much. I leave the platform for others.
yes. Um, Adrian, tell me, do I have 2 minutes to just, I want to give this framework for the professional pitch.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, this has been amazing. So for those of you guys who are able to continue to hang out with us, we can kind of give it as much breathing room as you need. This has been absolutely phenomenal. So you keep going, you keep pouring.
Okay.
I appreciate
And
you
it's
so
being
much.
recorded. And for
Yes.
those of you who have to hop off, thank you for spending this time here. And I want you to not just think about the things that you've heard. I want you to get off this call and start implementing some of these things in your home, at work, at the grocery store. Pitch, pronunciation, pace, passion. Who are you? What do you do? And start practicing, practicing, practicing. Now, let's talk about professional pitches. And what I mean by professional pitches is when you have to actually put a product or a service or a project that you're working on and you have to share it with somebody or somebodies, whether it's for money, for traction, for ideation, whatever it is. Okay. And there is a very classic framework that I find to be very beneficial. And that is, get ready to write this down. And this is the framework for sharing what it is that you do. You want to launch with your problem. And I'm going to be typing this in the chat, your problem. Then you want to go right into your solution. Then you want to go right into why you. Who are you to be qualified to be launching or pitching this. And then I want you to go into your your market. Why is this even needed? What does the market look like? Then I want you to go into your traction. And then lastly, I want you to wrap up with either who you are again or your team. Maybe it's a team of you. Okay. And then lastly, a call to action. And this is where you tell people exactly what you want them to do. Okay. So we have a problem, we have a solution. Why you? Who are you to be telling me or coming up with this idea? The market, what it's looking like out there, what kind of traction you have, how many people have you impacted already, how many people are interested, how many people have you spoken to, what kind of research do you have you made any money on your idea yet? And then if you have a team, this is where you talk about the powerhouse team that you have that's going to see this idea all the way through. And then what you want the people to do. Do you want them to just follow you? Do you want them to invest? Do you want them to send customers your way? Do you want them to get on your email list? Whatever it is, this is where you give them a call to action. And if you flow through this sequence with an intention and an emotion that you want to make them feel as you tell the story of your problem and the solution you've created, the why you, what's your personal connection to this, the world that your solution can live in, and the marketplace in which it's where it's living and where it's solving, and then show how your solution is already making impact or gaining traction. And these are the people who are going to continue to bring it to life. And now I just need this from you. If you've done it well, you will get people to buy in to your pitch. Are you all following? Yay, yay, yay. So I see some thumbs up, some claps. That mean people are tracking. Good. So Uvia, I can tell she's pitched before, or she's at least familiar with the pitch. Yep. Yes, ma'am. I didn't hit return. There you go. So let me ask, if you've pitched before, drop pitch in the chat. If you've pitched before. So Darlise has pitched, Ovia has pitched. Okay. Is that Morenica pitched? Okay, Jasmine has pitched. Good. So is this framework familiar to you with pitching? This is a standard pitch framework, okay? And it is a good framework. Yes, especially when making a deck. It is a good pitch framework, whether you have a physical deck, a visual deck, or not. This is a good flow to have, okay? But this is what makes the secret sauce. Jasmine, you've pitched, but you're still practicing. Do you want to come on platform and practice even more right now? She said, no, I felt that. I can see you going, no. Okay, just asking if anybody wants to come on platform and practice the pitch and get laser feedback like I would normally give my clients, put in the chat, bring me on, and we will bring you on. But I was about to say that this flow, this framework of problem all the way through call to action, whether you have a physical deck or not, it is a very good way to flow through the idea that you are bringing to life, even if it's just an idea. Do you hear me? Even if it's just an idea. So let me I'm gonna demo this for you, okay? So real life, I was on the island of Dominica a couple weeks ago. And when I was there, I was touring around, and I love tea, herbal tea. But at the resort I was staying at, and at different places on the island, when I would ask for tea, guess what they brought me? Oh, and I'm bougie too. I got to include that part. I'm a little bourgeois. They were bringing me packets of Bigelow tea. You all know that brand Bigelow. It's like, oh, I've had it all over the world at this point. And so I was thinking to myself, I don't want any like little tea dust of Bigelow. I want some herb tea. And so I happened to mention this one night to one of my servers, and he was like, oh, yeah, at home, we make bush tea, right? Tea dust, right? We make bush tea. Then all of a sudden, I had an idea, and I'm about to pitch this idea to you all using the framework that I just gave us, okay? So, everywhere I go, all over the world, I am being served tea dust. You all know what I mean about tea dust. You all have had those tea sachets where it's like crumbs of herbs in the bottom of a paper bag. I don't want that. I want big, beautiful herb leaves that unfurl in the water. So I'm on the island of Dominica. I ask for tea and I get tea dust. I don't want it. So I decided that I want to make the unfurling process available to tea lovers just like myself. So introducing Bush Tea. Bush Tea is a brand that every time makes the delight of drinking pure herbs and the unfurling process convenient for drinkers on the go. So say goodbye to those paper bags and tea dust and say hello to loose leaf tea in reusable tea sachets. The market is screaming for this. I'm not the only one that hates the taste of paper bags. I'm not the only one that doesn't want to drink tea dust. As a matter of fact, I did a little bit of research from different markets around the world, and it turns out that people hate their tea tasting like paper bags. People want the convenience of tea on the go. And people are also eco friendly. They don't want to drink their tea out of those nylon sachets either. You know, those pyramid sachets that you started to see at the trendy places. They want something that's eco friendly, that's convenient, that still gives them the joy and delight of loose leaf tea being unfurled. So, I've run some tests, and this is the product. You see this beautiful reusable bag. Do you see this loose leaf tea? And we have put our first bush tea on the market, and already within 1 month, we have made 10,000, we have sold 10,000 units just by word of mouth, and that has netted us $15,000. So, if you want to get in on the world's number one drink, contrary to popular belief, it's not coffee, it's tea, and you want to make it eco friendly and accessible, join us and register to join our community today. So, as you all can see, I pulled that out the top of my head. Deepa, thank you. Thank you. Tea dust. Yeah, thank you. I pulled that literally out the top of my head based on a real experience I had. But imagine if you took the time with your idea, with the project that you're working on, to take time to craft powerful words, concise words, to use beautiful examples in your storytelling, to bring real scenarios or stories in, and interweave story in and out of the problem, the solution, the why you, the market, the traction. By the time you get to that call to action, people are going to be like, where can I sign up? How can I give you money? How can I invest in this? How can I have you tell me more? Because a pitch truly, it's an opportunity for them to get to ask you more. And that's when you can get into the nooks and crannies. That's when you can get into the deep technology. I made a note for myself because I knew I would be talking to a lot of techies. When technologists or deep tech workers are talking to non-techies or low tech crowds, it's very important that you learn the art of turning your high-tech ideas into simple statements. I'm going to say that again. You have to learn how to turn your high-tech, deep-tech ideas into statements that are easy for a kindergartner to understand. So even if you're working on a big, big platform, you have to be able to say, oh, this platform is like what McDonald's is to eating on the go. Then all of a sudden we understand what McDonald's is. We understand what eating on the go is. And this platform is going to make it easy for me to do tech stuff on the go like that. So a good hack is to liken it to something, to compare what you're doing to something, or to make a contrast about something. Layman terms. Do you all know? And I don't know if any of you are like this, but I worked with someone from NASA, and literally to get to layman, their mind couldn't even work in layman terms. So if your mind just cannot work in non-technical terms, then I want you to grab a friend who knows nothing about what you do really, or maybe they can know a little bit about what you do, and try to explain it to them and have them push back and say, I still really don't understand it. Then you try it again. And then they push back, it's getting clearer, but I'm not understanding this. And have them push back and forth until you come up with a clear, concise statement that can express and explain what it is that you do in everyday language. Okay? Okay. I'm reading some of the comments. Or workshop with AI. Thank you, Jasmine. Workshop with AI. Tell them to make it 5th grade level or below what you're trying to explain. Yes, and it will crank out so many options. And then you can take it and take an idea from number 1 and number 3 and put those together that AI spit back out to you. Great idea, Jasmine. You have to explain AI and LLMs to all your non-technical immigrant family members. Humbling, yes, because it's like you have all this knowledge and they're like, what? Explain it again. But that's what makes excellent pitchers. To distill down complex ideas into simple everyday language and to be able to deliver that with a bit of passion. You have everybody smitten and ready to learn more about what it is that you do. And when you become an advanced pitcher, you know that you are the thermostat, and you can take these once you have simplified it and they go, oh, we want to talk to you more, and you get in that next session with them, you can begin to meet them where they are and raise them by sharing more technical terms. And so that inner techie in you, or that inner nerd in you, is going, I can shine again. All right. But initial pitches, it's all about the simplicity, the pitch, the passion, the clarity of messaging, and the intention and the emotion that you made them feel as you brought them along that journey of your idea or your product or your service as you share it with them. Not because you're so cocky and braggadocious, but because you are a servant and what you have is an answer to somebody's prayer. It is the answer to make something easier for someone. Are we on the same page? So, someone said, I have lost many internal hacks because the judges in my university couldn't understand blockchain. Listen, you got to break it down for them. I remember early on when I was learning blockchain, somebody literally used a link chain for me and showed how when you put that code in, boom, it's locked in now, right? And nobody can break it. And if it's a breach, we will know, so things like that, making it really, really simple. People is like, let's go. And so in the last 4 or 5 minutes that we'll share together, if you all have any comments, any questions, any curiosities. If you want to just say amazing things about me, I welcome that too. I want to give you a chance to either raise your hand or drop it in the chat. Thank you, Ovia. Thank you, Morenike. I hope I'm pronouncing your name. Yes, that's right. Anytime you can use a visual representation, use it. But when you cannot, because in many of my pitch competitions I facilitate, no props are allowed, that's when you use your words to paint the visual representation. Okay, so Darlene says, last bits of advice for those participating in the hackathon and wanting to represent themselves well via live demos and recorded videos. Good. So whenever you're getting ready to do a pitch and it's virtual, you talking virtual live? Let me make sure, Darlene. Yes, virtual live, and you have a presentation, you have your slide deck. I'm going to say something that sounds so simple, but trust me, I don't see it happen all the time. Practice flowing through your pitch deck as if you were doing the presentation live before you ever do it live. Literally, give yourself a timer and act as if you're talking to that audience in real time. That's going to help you not trip over your words. That's going to let you know if you need to be a little bit more concise. That's going to let you know if you need to shave content. Okay? So practice it as if you would be doing it live. Another thing you can do is, because you're going to be doing it virtually, everybody's device has a dot where the camera is. It might be a green dot. It might be a red dot, but you want to look at that dot as you deliver your content. I'm going to show you the difference. Right now, you feel like I'm looking at you because I'm looking at the dot. But what if I looked at me and I looked at my slide deck? Now there's a disconnect between me and you. And anytime there's a disconnect when you're sharing information, it allows the person's psychology to withdraw from what you're pitching. So look at the green dot. That means you have to know your content really well. Another thing, when you're pitching virtually, your ideas, you have to have that passion and energy because they can't see you in person. There's a screen between you. So come, don't be afraid to use your hands. Don't be afraid to lean into the camera. Don't be afraid to have that vocal energy to express this wonderful idea and concept that you're sharing for the first time. And I want you to remember two other things. One, anytime you're working with technology, it is apt to snap. And what I mean by that, it is prone to failure. So you must remember you are the pitch. If that demo in the video doesn't play, if the sound doesn't go, even if everything freezes but you are the pitch. And it's so important for you to keep going and begin to talk about what they would have seen if it didn't stop. And just keep on flowing with your pitch. And lastly, I need you all to remember this. You are a phenomenon of one. Nobody has your voice. Nobody has your ideas. Nobody has your lived experience. And when you put all of that together and you are building a platform, whether your platform is a technical product or a service, you are a phenomenon of one and you are serving. So just based on that, you don't have to be nervous. Just show up in the power of who you are and serve. And that will bring so much energy and intention and emotion into what it is that you do that people will say, I want it. I want to be part of it. I want to buy into it. I want to fund it. I want to help it be better. Okay. So those are the last few ideas I have for you as you go from Idea-thon to Hackathon. Always see yourself as the phenomenon of one who is about to package this idea and serve it to the world at large because we need you. All right. What are these comments saying? I was very nervous to come up. Oh, Via, you were nervous? You did that. Thank you so much. My goal is to create a safe space that women can show up, tap into the power of their voices, and release their genius in the world. Thank you for that. A phenomenon of one. Yes. Thank you.
I don't have words. I just want to request that everyone who was able to continue to stay and hang out with us for the long run, which are a lot of people, one, I'm so grateful for you guys. But two, first, most importantly, can you guys give me a round of applause? Can I get emojis? Can I get the chat filled to the brim? In appreciation for the level that Melanie has just poured into all of us today. Um, I love bragging on my friends, and to be honest, this goes to the ethos of why Darlise and I are so passionate about what we're doing here, because you need her in your life. I would not be who I am without people without incredible women like Melanie in my life. And I'm so grateful. Uh, Honestly, I have chills from this workshop. You, you so cold. You cold.
I love it. I
You
love
cold.
it.
That was cold.
Like this for me, it's not about being practical. It's about, I mean, not being philosophical. It's about being practical. And if we all realize we were literally this phenomenon of one, and that we can literally use something that we were born with to not just advance what we're doing, but to literally create the outcomes that we desire. Talk about being catapulted in the universe, catapulted. And so I'm glad that you all were able to receive this just very condensed version of being a pitcher. Like, hey, I'm a pitcher.
I really pray that everything that Melanie planted in each of you guys today, that it lands, that it blossoms, that it blooms, and that you give all of us the opportunity to cheer you on, and acting, not just like sitting here, not just getting all the feels. It was amazing to experience and just share this very vulnerable, but very real and very impactful workshop with all of you guys. But please, 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 please don't sit on this. Don't sleep on this. Please. Please, I beg you. I beg all of you. If you are not registered for our Idea-thon, for our Hackathon, please register. Please register at CreateHERfest.com. Make sure that you're joining us. We are here. We are your community. We are here to hold you accountable if this is what you want for yourself. Well, I know that every single person who attended this workshop today has the capacity to perform and to show up in this way. And you owe yourself the ability to show up in this way, whether it's through our hackathon, whether it's just speaking about yourself, whether it's in an interview, whether it's pitching your business idea, your concepts, what you're the solution to in this world. Because if you ever questioned it, just know that there are many things that you are the solution to. That's something a mentor of mine told me when I was in college. She asked me the question, what are you the solution to? And it's been a model of mine that I ask myself every single day, because it just depends on what you feel like being the solution to in that moment. You know, that is limitless. And I implore all of you guys to continue to ask yourselves that same thing as well. But yeah, with that, I hope that you guys grab our ad event link, and subscribe to our calendar. Please, Melanie, tell us how we can stay connected with you. What platforms you're present on?
Yes, I am present on all platforms at Melanie Monique. And when I say all, not all, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. On LinkedIn, though, that's where you will find like me as the businesswoman doing all these pitch competitions and sharing voice in the world. But on Instagram, you might be able to see a little bit more of my crazy. And so I invite you into both. And so Melanie Monique, let me spell my name for you. And if you follow me, I spelled my own name wrong. There we go. Melanie Monique, Melanie Monaque, as my son likes to say. Um, if you follow me on LinkedIn, send me a message and just say creator, creator. And that way I'll know exactly where you saw me. And then you can learn more about the voice accelerator that I have. The next cohort is launching on March 17th. And talk about really peeling back the layers, learning how to stand in the power of your voice. It's a whole accelerator that helps you do that. And that's it. That's the best places to find me.
And that's the most important place that you need to, yeah, hold that in yourself. Please check out the Vocal Coach Garden, the Vocal Garden. Please follow up with all of the resources that she herself is just presenting with you guys. Do not sleep on this. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's so loud in my spirit right now. I appreciate you guys all for joining. Please connect
And
with
staying.
she's phenomenal. She is you. She is us. She is a mother. She is a sister. She is a wife. She's a friend.
Yes.
Please just know that we all have the same 24 hours in a day.
That's
So we
it.
gotta get this done. And yeah, I hope that you're all leaving as encouraged as I am feeling right now. So thank you all again. And we're going to sign off for now. I hope to see you all at the Idea-thon kickoff tomorrow.
Yes. Have an amazing day.
All right. Bye, guys.